Have you ever wondered if it's really necessary to work up a sweat at the gym every day to control your glucose? What if I told you that there are ways to lower blood sugar, prevent the advancement of type 2 diabetes, and improve your insulin sensitivity without needing to touch a single weight training machine? The truth is that thousands of people give up on taking care of their health because they believe that they will only get results if they live inside a gym. And that's a big myth. The control of blood sugar. It can, and should, be done naturally, practically, and without suffering. If you have insulin resistance, is with pre-diabetes or even already live with the type 2 diabetes, you need to know that your body can react positively to simple, everyday strategies. Strategies that don't require expensive sneakers, free time, or sophisticated gadgets. And if you think it's impossible to take care of yourself without a heavy training routine, stay with me until the end, because today I'm going to show you how you can start controlling your glucose levels today with simple and effective actions without needing to set foot in a gym. And to begin with, one of the most underrated but extremely powerful strategies is light walk after meals. You can take a walk around the block, walk around the house, or even go up and down some steps. The important thing is to move your body lightly for 10 to 20 minutes right after eating. This action activates metabolism, accelerates the digestion process, and most importantly, helps reduce postprandial glycemic spikes, which are those elevations in blood sugar that occur after meals and which, if not controlled, increase the risk of complications such as insulin resistance, fatty liver, and chronic inflammation. The second strategy is as simple as it is powerful: deep breathing combined with relaxation techniques. Many people forget that stress is one of the biggest triggers for increased glucose levels. When you are anxious, worried, running out of time, your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone, and it has a direct effect on elevation of blood glucose. Breathing deeply for a few minutes when waking up or before meals can help reduce this impact. Short meditations, light stretching, and conscious pauses throughout the day are practices that improve insulin sensitivity and reduce the risk of decompensation. And the best part, all of this can be done from the comfort of your home. The third practice is well-guided intermittent fasting, which has gained ground as an efficient strategy for those seeking reverse insulin resistance. But be careful. Fasting is not simply stopping eating for hours, and that's it. It needs to be done in a planned way, respecting your limits and with monitoring, if possible. When applied well, fasting allows the body to use glucose already circulating and fat stores as a source of energy, promoting stability in blood sugar levels and facilitating the control of type 2 diabetes. Starting with short windows, such as 12 to 14 hours, can already bring visible benefits. And unlike what many people think, you don't need to go hungry. You need to have a strategy. Now let's move on to the fourth tip, which is not only natural, but also delicious: the use of teas with hypoglycemic effect. There are herbs proven by studies that directly help control blood sugar levels. Teas like cinnamon stick, cow paw, carqueja, ginger, and hibiscus. They have properties that help decrease carbohydrate absorption, improve glucose metabolism, and reduce blood sugar levels throughout the day. Including these teas between meals, or instead of processed drinks, can be a simple change with a big impact. But remember, use in moderation and whenever possible, with guidance, especially if you are already taking medication. The fifth strategy is even more neglected: morning sun exposure. When you get 15 to 20 minutes of sunlight in the early hours of the day, preferably before 10 a.m., the body activates the production of vitamin D, which plays an essential role in insulin regulation. Furthermore, natural sunlight helps adjust the biological clock, improves mood, and contributes to the proper functioning of the metabolism as a whole. And no, you don't have to go to the beach or exercise outdoors. Just sit on the porch, walk in the yard, or open the window with your face toward the natural light. And last but not least, the sixth strategy: sleep well and at a regular time. Sleep quality has a direct impact on hormones that regulate glucose, such as insulin, cortisol, leptin, and ghrelin. When you sleep poorly, your body goes into a state of constant alert, making glycemic control difficult and increasing the chance of craving foods rich in sugar the next day. Have a hygiene is adequate, with a fixed bedtime, dark environment, no cell phone screen, and deep sleep for at least 7 hours is one of the most solid foundations for those who want to prevent or control type 2 diabetes without needing a gym, without suffering, just respecting the natural functioning of the body. These 6 strategies work in an integrated way, and the best thing is that none of them requires more than small adjustments to your routine. These are simple, accessible, and completely natural actions that put you in control of your blood sugar without depending on external structures. And what comes now will show you why. This transformation is simpler than it seems. But unfortunately, many people still believe that you can only control high glucose going to the gym, lifting weights, or spending hours on the treadmill. This is one of the most dangerous myths when we talk about type 2 diabetes. Because while some people really enjoy working out, most people don't identify with this lifestyle and end up feeling guilty, frustrated, or even giving up on taking care of their health. It's as if there was only one path, and whoever doesn't follow it is left with no way out. But that's not true. This mentality creates a huge emotional barrier, especially in those who are already struggling with insulin resistance, prediabetes, or overweight. The truth is that there are several ways to lower blood sugar and improve insulin sensitivity without relying on the gym. And while many people distance themselves from self-care because of this belief, the body continues to suffer the impacts of uncontrolled glucose. So understand that there are affordable and effective alternatives is essential, especially when we look at the numbers. Today, more than 16 million Brazilians live with type 2 diabetes. And what is most frightening is that a large proportion of these people do not even know they have the disease. This means millions are at silent risk, with uncontrolled blood sugar, experiencing symptoms such as fatigue, excessive thirst, blurred vision, and having no idea what is happening. And among those diagnosed, the majority doesn't go to the gym, whether due to lack of time, money, physical limitations, or simply because you do not identify with this environment. But this cannot be a justification for continuing to stand still. Time is running, and the advancement of diabetes. It can cause serious complications such as kidney problems, neuropathy, blindness, and even amputations. The good news is that there are proven, natural, and simple strategies, which can still be applied today, at home, by anyone. And that's why now, I understood that I could no longer depend on excuses to take care of my health. And to be honest with you, I also believed for a long time that without a gym you couldn't lower your glucose. I thought that if I didn't sweat on the treadmill or do weight training, I would never be able to control my blood sugar level. And because of that, I simply pushed with my belly. I didn't go to the gym, I didn't do anything at home, and my blood sugar continued high. Until the warning came: altered exams, increasingly frequent symptoms, unexplained tiredness, untimely hunger, weight that wouldn't fall. That's when I realized I needed to do something. And that waiting for the motivation to train hard wasn't the way to go. So I started small. I took a walk around the block after lunch. I replaced the soda with cinnamon tea. I started sleeping earlier. I did conscious breathing for 5 minutes before going to sleep. And what seemed insignificant became a turning point. Before long, my body began to respond. I woke up lighter. Fasting blood glucose began to drop naturally, without needing to take the medicine. The number on the scale decreased, but what impressed me most was the improved mood and emotional control, something I didn't even imagine had anything to do with the type 2 diabetes. The truth is that no one needs to wait to have a perfect routine to change. What you need is awareness, strategy, and action. And when these small attitudes add up, they become a lifestyle. And it was by living this in practice that I saw, yes, it is possible to control the insulin resistance, prevent the progression of diabetes, and even reverse early conditions, without gym membership, without suffering, and most importantly, without feeling incapable. With each simple change, my body showed that it was stronger, more balanced. And it all started the moment I stopped charging myself and started applying these natural and sustainable strategies. And now that you understand that the path is not only possible, it is real, it's time to show you what comes next, because it is precisely when you start to apply these small actions on a daily basis that the body begins to respond. To the 6 natural strategies you just learned about, they are not just a viable alternative, they are the starting point for a new phase in your health. Many people spend years believing that controlling type 2 diabetes, it depends exclusively on medication or an exhausting gym routine. But the reality is different. These simple changes, applied consistently, can reduce insulin resistance, improve metabolism, regulate blood levels, blood glucose, and even help reverse early diabetes. But I want to go further with you, because the truth is that this is just the beginning. There are other complementary practices, just as accessible as these, that can further enhance your results. And the best part, you can fit these actions into your routine, even with little time, even with a busy day. Things you do at home, without needing equipment, without depending on health insurance, and without any complications. In the next videos, I will show you how to combine these strategies with simple dietary adjustments, with nighttime habits that regulate blood sugar while you sleep, with natural foods that act as true allies in stabilizing blood sugar, and even with techniques to identify and correct triggers that raise glucose without you realizing it. The idea here is to provide you with a complete, practical path that respects your reality, because I know that not everyone can afford a gym, nutritionist, and expensive supplements. But that doesn't mean you're stuck. On the contrary, with the right information and action, you can win a solid, long-lasting and natural glycemic control with freedom, lightness, and without radicalism. And for this, it is important to continue following, because each new step that I will show you connects to the previous one and further strengthens your autonomy over your health. And the next content is already waiting for you, because it all starts with the awareness that it is possible to take control of your health, even without following the paths that you have always been told are mandatory. You don't need a gym, dumbbells, treadmills, or expensive machines to start seeing your lower blood sugar. What you really need is reliable information, small consistent attitudes, and mainly, the decision to leave autopilot. The type 2 diabetes. It doesn't settle overnight. It builds itself in silence, through years of habits that add up without realizing it. But just as it sets in, it can also be controlled, and in many cases, even reversed, with habits that you have full capacity to develop, even within your home, with the routine you already have. And the beauty of it all is that you don't need to become someone else. You don't need to follow a crazy diet or live in fear of food. You just need to understand how your body works, how insulin resistance is affected by stress, poor sleep, poor diet, and lack of movement, and act with intelligence and patience. The results don't appear in a day, but they come. And when they come, they bring with them something much greater than just better numbers on the blood test. They bring lightness, autonomy, confidence, quality of life. Every step you take in this direction brings you closer to a life with more energy, more control, and less fear of diabetes complications. And that's what you deserve. So, if you've already started applying one or two of these strategies, know that you're on the right path. And if you haven't started yet, that's okay too. The important thing is to decide to start now. Because the change you want does not depend on large structures or superhuman strength. It depends on constancy, commitment, and attitude. And with this knowledge that you are absorbing here, you are already many steps ahead of most people who still believe that only medicine or the gym will solve the problem. And now, with this firm foundation that we have built so far, it is time to take the next step. Because now that you understand the power of these natural strategies to lower your blood glucose and avoid the pitfalls of type 2 diabetes, I want to hear from you. Which of these 6 strategies do you already apply in your routine? Or which one will you start putting into practice today? Tell me here in the comments because I read them all, and each experience of yours can inspire other people who are also on this journey of controlling, preventing, or reversing diabetes. This space here is for us to exchange, support each other, grow together. And if this content helped you in any way, leave a like below, because it shows me that I'm on the right path and also helps YouTube deliver this video to more people who need this information. And if you haven't signed up yet, take advantage now and activate the bell, because there's a lot more coming. In the next video, I'll show you exactly what to eat for breakfast to maintain your stable blood glucose, without depending on medicine and without fear of making mistakes. I will reveal to you which are the right foods that help avoid sugar spikes at the beginning of the day, and what you should eliminate from your first meal in the morning if you want to maintain your natural glycemic control. Because yes, what you do in the early hours of the day has a huge impact on your metabolism, the functioning of your pancreas, and in your insulin sensitivity. And with the right choices early on, you can align energy, satiety, and health, without going hungry, without living under restrictions, and without depending on the gym. So get ready, because in the next video you will understand how to assemble an anti-diabetes breakfast based on science, practice, and real flavor. And if you know someone who is fighting diabetes or wanting to prevent it, share this video. Information like this can literally save a life. And what I'm going to show you next could be the turning point between living hostage to glucose or finally taking control for good. Because if you have prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, what you do in the early hours of the day could be destroying your glycemic control without you even realizing it. Experts are warning. There are 4 morning mistakes that increase glucose, worsen insulin resistance, and accelerate diabetes complications. And the worst thing is that many people commit them all thinking they are doing it right. Don't wait for symptoms to get worse. Click now on the video. Caution. Experts say avoid these 4 morning mistakes to control type 2 diabetes and discover how to protect your health today. A simple change in your morning could be what will save you from a future with stronger medications, serious complications, and loss of quality of life.